Yo, what up, everybody? This is Daniel Artest. Welcome to the 9450. This is our special episode. I know y'all used to hearing us on Sunday nights at 8:30, but we had to do another show this week, give y'all a little extra show to honor the great Candace Parker, who retired yesterday. I'm Daniel Artest. I got Lolo with me, as usual. We got 21 titles, Shantae and Brittany. And also, we got Tex Winter is actually not Tex Wintering today. He took the day off to join us on the chat and stuff. So, Lauren, what's going on? How you doing? Happy Monday. What's up?
Is it a happy Monday when your goat retires? Is it, Daniel? Is it? But yes, today's been a very busy day. But I couldn't miss the opportunity to come and, have a conversation about one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. Got to give flowers where they're due. And I'm excited that the whole team joined.
Yeah, definitely. We got the whole entire staff of the 9450 in the building today. And to answer your question, I think the only person that's happy is Gino Auriemma. He's probably the happiest guy right now on the planet right now regarding Candace Parker and everything. So Shantae, what's going on? How you doing? What's going on?
I'm good. I can't complain. And yeah, I'm happy to be here with y'all all together. So I'm excited.
Yes. And Brittany, what's up? How you doing?
What up, y'all? Happy to be here. Fortunate that I got a chance to play against the GOAT CP in college, so got to give her flowers. So salute, CP.
And also at the last but not least, we got K. Dot, aka Tex Winner, in the building. K. Dot, what's going on, man? How you doing, brother? What's up?
Hey, yo, what up? What it is? What's popping?
Here you go, man.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up, man, right there. Yeah, we gotta honor the great Candace Parker and everything today. So like starting with you, Brittany, you're like the only one really who had experience playing against Candace Parker and stuff. So like before we dive deep into this podcast, like what was your thoughts, when you seen the news that she was retiring?
So I really wanted one more year from Candace. I thought she was going to give us one more year. I was looking forward to that, but Father Time is undefeated. When your body says it's time to put the laces up. So I'm just very honored that I got a chance to step on the court with her at a moment in her career and was able to, compete against her. She's probably in my top 5 of the greatest players I got a chance to play against. So it was a shocker to me. As soon as I went on Twitter, I tweeted at Lauren. I was like, "Yo, Lauren, your GOAT is retiring. I know you were not doing well right now. So she's just a staple in women's basketball, and her legacy is gonna go on forever. So was shocked, but she gave the game her all, and I'm just happy to see what she does in the next chapter.
Yeah, and so we'll pass it on to Lauren. Like, what was your thoughts about when you first heard the news and everything? Being that you're the resident, CP3, fan and everything, and that's your GOAT. Well, what was your thoughts? How was you feeling?
You know what? I was actually trying to take a nap with my son and my phone started blowing up. My dad called me. Like literally people know what Candace Parker means to me. So everyone was calling me and my phone was on do not disturb, but when they were calling back to back. So the calls were coming through. So I'm like, all right, well, I ain't answer. I was like, let me hop on Twitter. Of course, that's where everybody gets their news, right? So I hop on Twitter, first thing I see. And I'm like, no fucking way. Like, because I honestly thought that it would be a possibility of her retiring after she technically got her third ring last year. Why not go off? Why not sell out to the sunset like while you're a champion, right? But then when she was like, yeah, I'm coming back, pretty much I thought, all right, this is probably going to be her last year. So for it to be like the number one, the first day of training camp, and we're excited about the WNBA starting again, and then Candace to just drop the bomb like that, it was like a roller coaster of emotions. Like, I'm happy for her that she's still young enough to go live her life and enjoy her family. She can still walk, and she's not hobbling around like most people do. She left on her own terms. I'm still fairly healthy for the most part. But the game and the fans like myself will for sure miss her.
Yeah, and Shantae, what's going on? What was your thoughts?
Yeah, I think what I'm about to say is about to mirror what Lauren and Brittany have said, but I love the fact that she left on her own terms. I too was shocked. But for me personally, I'm super excited to see what she does on the business side of it all, because she has her hands in quite a few things already. And I'm just interested in seeing how she continues to expand and grow outside of the game of basketball, but still remain really close to it. So it was a sad day. It's still sad, but I'm still excited to see how she continues to build her legacy outside of playing on the floor.
And last but not least, K-Dot, what's going on? What was your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a sad day for sure. I believe from and not a sad day from like a literal sad moment, but I think that from my perspective, seeing what Candace Parker has done, not only for the women's game, but for basketball in general, it just puts a lot of things in perspective, and how sometimes we can take for granted how important these players are to us. And I personally, selfishly, I wanted to see her ride off in the sunset, and for each game have a standing ovation, like they did with Big Mama Sil. But I am also happy that she did it on her own terms. She did it in a way that honestly isn't really unpredictable of Candace. Candace has always been someone who's been really, really reserved and very private. And for her to do it in that manner, I respect it a lot. And of course, not wanting all of the attention, and not and another thing, putting the team first and not being a distraction this year. If we were to think about it in that perspective, it's really, really good for the Aces. So I think that from that standpoint, I mean, obviously, look, this right here, if you guys can see it, this right here, like she is hands down one of the greatest players to ever play the game, if not the greatest player to ever play the game, definitely in my top three. And I am going to miss her as a basketball player, but I am extremely excited for her as she moves into her next phase in her career. And I can't wait to see her on TNT. Can't wait to see her on Turner Sports. Can't wait to see her in the business light. So much respect to you, CP3.
The real
Yeah.
CP3.
I knew I was waiting for somebody to say it. So listen,
The only one we acknowledge.
9 minutes in. I was waiting for it.
The one with the hardware.
Oh, here we go. Here we
The
go.
one with the one with three of them things.
Exactly.
Yeah,
See,
three.
that's burning the real CP3. How many does Chris Paul have? Remind me, Vernon, please.
Oh.
Thought so. Go ahead, DA.
Lauren's in the chat already. Lauren's chat winter today. Yeah, so like when I found out, got the group chat text, and I was like really surprised. I thought that she was coming back, but I guess her body said otherwise. And she got to do what she got to do. Maybe focusing on growing the game from the business and everything. We've seen with Serena Williams' husband. They took a picture. I guess he posted a picture and saying that we got some things cooking up. So I'm really looking forward to see what's next and what she's about to do. regarding women's basketball, and she said that she want to own a team on the NBA side and the WNBA side. So just really looking forward to see what's next and what she got up her sleeve and stuff. And yeah, she's a great player. She's going to be missed, and that's pretty much what I got to say about it, man. It's a bittersweet day because I wanted to see her at least go out and with 4 championships and everything, and cement herself as the greatest player of all time. You know what I mean? But hey, sometimes life is more. Maybe she wants to spend more time with her daughter, who also in her own right is a basketball player too as well. So I'm just like just bittersweet, but glad to started covering women's basketball to see her ride out the sunset. 2 championships in the 3 years going into our 4th years we've been covering it. So very successful career in my opinion. So I want to get into it now. So Lauren, I'm gonna ask you first. There's 3 different questions for 3 different topics. I'm gonna ask you, then I'm gonna ask 21 titles. They're gonna answer it together, and then we're gonna go with Kata in that order right there. So Lauren, I'm gonna answer this question. How has Candace Parker, in your opinion, influenced the landscape of women's basketball throughout her career?
I think that's a loaded question, but I think that just from I mean it is, right? I think that just from the outside looking in, to simplify for people that don't know the things that she's done for the game, I think it's like a legend bridging 2 eras together. So she played when Lisa Leslie and Lauren Jackson were still playing, but also still played when, we have a player that's about to make $28 million off of a shoe deal. So 2 completely different times in women's basketball, and she kind of bridged that gap together. I think she kind of transcended the game like Steph did in a way. When Steph started shooting logo threes, everybody wants to shoot logo threes. Candace Parker was one of the first women to be a point forward, being able to run the floor, get the rebound and run the floor. And before that, I mean, you saw it a little bit with Shamika Holsclaw. And who else? To me, that's really the only person that was really doing it to that extent. But Candace took it to a whole nother level. So I think with number 1, bridging the gap together and just being a legitimate generational talent. Like people were not 6'4", starting the fast break and handling the ball well and then dishing it to score. You know what I'm saying? Like people weren't doing that. So you see that now with Stewie and Asia and all these players that can now do that. And so it's like she is the person that kind of started it. And when you talk to these bigs now, they're the first ones to say that, like, yeah, like I was young enough to watch Candace Parker growing up, and I knew that I could do these things because she could do them. And just shout out to her dad, essentially making her be a well-rounded player. Like, although you're taller than everyone else, I'm still going to teach you how to dribble. I'm still going to teach you how to pass. We're not just only working on post moves. So shout out to her dad for being ahead of his time as well and teaching her those things. Which I got 21 title.
Yeah. So the question I want to ask 21 titles is in their opinion, like what do they think that Candace will be, remembered for in the WNBA? Go ahead, Shante.
That's a loaded question too.
Damn, you got loaded questions like crazy
It
today.
is.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit
All
it on
right,
the
yeah,
business. I'm gonna hit it on the business end though. I think that for me, she was the first player I saw on a 2K cover. That's what did it for me. I hadn't seen that before Candace Parker. On top of that, piggybacking off what Lauren said, I think she bridged the gap in conversations and just in everything. So I always think about the McDonald's All American game, her dunking, just bridging that gap, seeing her go against men. We hadn't seen that at all either. So yeah, she's just a dot connector. I think that's how she's gonna be remembered. She's just solidified. So that's how I'm gonna personally remember her. Brittany, what do you think?
For me, I'm just gonna remember her as a generational talent for real. Like she was really like the first point forward I've ever seen. Like, kind of just could get the ball off the rim on a rebound and push the ball up on the fast break and make a great decision. Like, whether she's gonna finish it, whether she's gonna set somebody up to, to get a layup or anything. Like, she was really truly a point forward. How she passed out of the post, like she was doing fadeaways in college, like MJ, yo. Like, it was remarkable watching her play. And I just remember she was a trash talker too. She was talking a lot of trash in that national championship game, but she was backing it up, right? Like, she was killing us. Her and Nikki Anasiki, they was killing us in the national championship on the board. So she was really just a generational talent, man. Like, I can't stress that any further. Obviously, like Shantae said, she was the first women to win first woman to win the McDonald's All American dunk contest. Like, she won MVP as a rookie. Like, nobody's doing that. Nobody was doing that. So I just can't stress enough how she really just she changed the game for me in that sense, and that's how I remember her.
Like you got to understand, right? Since 1946, right, when the NBA started, and then 1997 when the WNBA started, right, until right now, all these years later, I guess that's what 78 years. Only 3 people won MVP and Rookie of the Year. Wilt Chamberlain, Wes Unseld, and Candace Parker. Man, like, that's it. That's the list right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, when she came on the scene like that. Now, mind you, I lived in Deerfield, Illinois. Candace was obviously in Naperville, so I got to see her play in her high school years. Just like really special talent. And but when she came on the scene, like, what was she? She had 34 points, 12 rebounds, like 8 assists her first game, something like that. Like, it's just insane for what she's done and how long she did it for, battling the injuries and being able to really just be this great player that she is, that she became, and one of the greats of the game today and stuff. K-Dot, like, what's your thoughts on this conversation?
Yeah, and Candace Parker, to me, obviously one of the most versatile players that we've ever seen in this game. I think that from my perspective, when I first saw Candace was in the McDonald's All America game, and to me, she gave me vibes of a taller Cheryl Miller. And knowing Cheryl Miller from the 80s and the way that she was able to be versatile in her own right, to see someone taller come in and do what Cheryl Miller did back then and present it to us in the present day, I knew that there was a great player on our hands. And for her to go to Tennessee, obviously in 07 and 08, 2 of the best years of my life personally, because at that point, I was a scout player for our Clemson women's team. And we will always scout, even though we never played them, we always would scout out the top 5 teams, obviously. And one of those teams was Tennessee and Candace Parker. And to see what Candace Parker was able to do in college, and for that to easily translate into the WNBA and what she did in her first season in the WNBA, she took the league by storm. And that was one of the most intriguing things for me as a 18, 19-year-old at the time, just saying, wow, like, this is amazing. Like, when have we ever seen a player like Candace Parker? And for Candace Parker to continue to do that, even battling with the injuries that she had, because mind you, she had shoulder injuries in college. She separated her shoulder in, I think she separated her shoulder in like the Final Four or the Elite Eight. It was one of those games she separated her shoulder and she came back. And I mean, they were able to win the national championship that same year. So I think that for Candace Parker and for her legacy, it has truly been an honor to be a part of it. It's been an honor to be a fan of it. And Candace Parker just has a pure knack for just understanding the game. And she had a lot of she had a lot of influence. She's always mentioned her influences, but for me, I think I was more impressed even off the court and wanting to listen to Candace Parker as an analyst. That did it for me, because obviously we are all, from a media standpoint, kind of in that same mode. But I mean, for Candace Parker to do it, it was so much fun, and it is so much fun to watch right now. So I mean, I just want to continue to salute her and give her all of the praise that she deserves, because she was voted most underrated at one point. I mean, most overrated at one point. I was like, what? Overrated? Are you serious? So, like, if she's overrated, then she's the greatest overrated player I've ever seen. So I'll just leave it at that. But man, Candace Parker is truly, obviously, again, I'm gonna keep repeating this, one of the greatest players that we've seen, if not the greatest player. And she is the greatest player in a lot of people's eyes.
All right, so I want to break this second segment down, right?
Hold on, I want to say something real quick.
Okay,
All her peers that voted most overrated, just DM me real quick. I want to have a conversation. Go ahead, DA.
Let me talk to you. No, just come over here. Let me talk to you.
I just want to highlight at you real quick. Just a quick conversation,
We're not going. Never mind. I can't say that. It's a family podcast. I can't say what I really wanted to say. But all right, let's talk about these moments in her career, right? I want to break them down into 3 different ones, right? Just like whatever the most memorable moment from her career, from like a championship victories or individual accolades, to I want to also talk about like which championship victory from college or pro that kind of stood out to y'all the most, and also one specific play of Candace Parker that stood out the most. So I guess we'll lead off with K-Dot, since he finished the last one. Go ahead, bro.
So the most memorable moment is not really a basketball moment. It's her going back to Chicago after having served all of those years in LA and seeing what that young man did the season prior. For her to say, you know what, I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna do it for the city. We're gonna bring a championship to Chicago. And for her to do it, to add on to that memorable moment, the 3 to tie the game in game 4 of the 2021 finals will always be a core memory for me, because Flute kind of taking that little drive and seeing Candace out on the wing and giving her that over the head pass, and for Candace to just step into it and for it to fly the way that it flew, and for it to go, and for the ball to go in the way that it went in. I'm sitting there on my phone, because I was at a dinner at the particular moment, but I was like, this dinner is not going to keep me from watching this game. Watching that actual shot go in and getting the reaction that I got, and people looking around at me saying, like, dude, what is wrong with this dude? Like, it is forever going to be a core memory for me. And after that win, just seeing the joy and the tears just fall, it was something so great to see, because before that, to say that Candace Parker only had one championship throughout her entire career, you would think someone was like playing with you. But for her to do it in that fashion, I mean, obviously that was just the most amazing thing to see. So that's probably the most memorable, even from college, because I watched every game in college. From college until then, that has to be the most memorable moment because of everything that led to that moment throughout that entire season.
All right, we'll go with 21 titles. I want to hear Lauren's. I know Lauren's got a lot to say, so I just can't wait to hear what she has to say. But we're gonna go with Brittany and then Shantae. Go ahead, B.
Well, obviously for me, the most memorable moment is obviously her beating me for the national championship, because I was firsthand. I seen it firsthand. Okay. Um, so that for me will be the most memorable moment. And then also too, like I was watching her when she was in the McDonald's All American game. I think that for me, seeing her dunk in that competition, I don't like I that really made me become a Candace Parker fan, like for real, because nobody else was doing that. Like, right? I never seen a woman besides Lisa Leslie dunk before that, and that was just really amazing to me as a young kid watching that. Um, and then obviously starstruck when I get to play against her in college my freshman year. Um, and I would just say this. Also too, we had a little incident my sophomore year. We got a chance to play Tennessee, and we should have won that game, but somebody on the Tennessee staff stopped the clock. Okay, we lost by 1 point, and that was a really heart wrenching game for me because I came back off an injury that game, and Coach Stringer kind of played Rocky Top the entire 2 weeks leading up into that game, and it was really a tough game for us because we're going through something as a team then, right? We just came off a national championship. It just lost to them in the national championship, so this was kind of like our redemption game, and we almost stole that game, and they kind of stole that game away from us, and I was really tight. CBS, unbeknownst to a lot of people, she almost broke her hand after that game because she hit the board in the locker room because she was so pissed that the refs didn't make the right decision. Because you can clearly see in the replay they stopped the clock. But yeah, that was a sour moment, but it's a moment that's gonna live with me for the rest of my life. And that's my moment. I'm gonna kick it over to Shantae.
Nah, nothing's beating Clockgate. After, after I seen that, I was like, that was wild. That was wicked. But I'm gonna piggyback off what you said and really say the McDonald's All American game, all jokes aside. I mean, when she was in Tennessee, we were in college too, but we were younger. And just seeing somebody around our age beating Josh Smith and J.R. Smith and them, I've never seen that before. So that changed the game for me personally. I mean, I too was a small forward. I definitely am not as big as Candace Parker, but just seeing all the things that she was able to do at our age was ridiculous. And I couldn't personally wrap my mind around it. So I would say the McDonald's All American game as well.
I would agree. I think especially just like speaking as young women at the time, like both of you guys said, like we didn't see that. We haven't seen that before. So it's very like intriguing and almost like captivating. So literally since that game, that's when I was like, I need to know more about this person. You know what I'm saying? And so then I found out that she was going to Tennessee, and I'm a little bit younger, so I was still in high school then when she was going to Tennessee. And so I literally remember, I can vividly remember the first year that they won. This is how much of a fan I was. I literally, my dad got me the Washington Post, the newspaper. And so I literally cut out the pictures and plastered it on my door. It was in my room, on my walls. Like that was there until probably before I went to college and had to take everything down. And so I remember getting like chills and jittery the day of the national championship game when they played against LSU because she had just hurt her shoulder. And I'm like, how the hell is she about to go out there and do? Like, I literally remember going to school acting like I'm playing in a damn game. You know what I'm saying? So Candace is the second person I've kind of followed their career from like the beginning all the way to the end. Kobe, of course, being the first. So like, it's just interesting, like literally just following her throughout her career and seeing all the things that she's gone through. And then just, having such a dominant rookie season, having her child the next season and then coming back to even play. Like that was another thing that she showed the world. Like, yes, Sheryl Swoops did it. But it wasn't really many women that they were putting, I guess, in the limelight for being able to be a mom and be an athlete. And I think that once Candace did it and was able to come back, everyone had questions like, can she come back and be as good as she was and this and that? And, she came back and still handled business. So I think for me, you guys have already said kind of the moments that kind of stood out to me as well. I think the 2016 championship, winning her first one, that was memorable because it was the same time, like around when Pat Summitt died. And so it was just like, after 8 years, she finally got one. That's number one. But then the same year that, your mentor, essentially one of your favorite people in the entire world, like kind of just all of that coming together and her winning, that's definitely one of my most memorable moments. Also, like Kayda said, when she hit that 3-pointer in Chicago, it's like you went home. Everyone knows during the regular season, they weren't that good. Like Chicago was trash. Like they just started to play their best basketball at the right time. So I'm like, what a storybook ending. Like you taking a chance, leaving your area in LA where you're comfortable. You were there for 9, 10 plus years. So to do that and then transition to Chicago, going back home where the team wasn't really that great, even throughout the season, and then going to get one, like you really can't have anything better than that. Like you really can't make up a better story than that. Like a hometown kid coming back home to win. So I don't know. It's making me feel like I'm old because everyone that I idolized as a kid has now retired. So it's like, damn, like, but yes, I feel like those are my most memorable moments. What about you, DA?
Well,
wait, real quick. Also the brawl, because y'all tried to play with my girl. That was a memorable moment.
I was going to say that too, but I didn't
find out. Fuck around and find out, and y'all found out. Go ahead.
Now wait. I think Chicago was trash without Candace Parker, because with Candace Parker, wasn't there like they lost like 1 or 2 games with her, and then like then it was just bad with her.
What do you mean before she got there?
No, so for context, right? So they started off hot. Mm-hmm. I believe they started off like they were 7-1, and I believe Candace went down, and without Candace, they went 500. Candace came back. They go on another like 8-2 game run. And then Candace had to go out again. I think she had like some calf or knee problems. But once she got back healthy for the playoffs, they finished the season. They finished the regular season 16-16.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that and without Candace Parker, they were sub 500. So coming into the playoffs, being 16-16, I mean, that was something to think about, right? So for them to do what they did that year, and for Candace Parker to and they were down in game 4 with about 2.5 minutes left. They were down 5, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And for Candace Parker to hit that 3 and shoot, they were probably down for the majority of that game. They they started off hot, then Phoenix settled in and pretty much was leading the game throughout the entire time until the fourth quarter, when Candace Parker tied the game up, and then Stephanie Dolson just had like a out of body experience. She ended up being Lauren Jackson, the last 2 minutes and 32 seconds of that game. She went crazy, but it started with the Candace Parker 3 to tie the game up with about 3. I think it was about 3 minutes left, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, too, right? If I'm not mistaken, too, right? Didn't Chicago play against the Connecticut Sun in that semifinals, right?
I believe so. Yeah,
yeah, they did.
I believe so.
There was another. There's another game too. Remember, Kata? I named the podcast. The title of the podcast was 3 minutes and 46 seconds because remember, it was just like Connecticut had a big lead, and then just like Candace and them just went off and stole Game 5 and the series away from Connecticut.
I believe you're probably talking about the inverse, the invert of that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was 2022. I think you're talking about.
That was 2022. Okay. Yeah. Well, whatever. Edit out.
Nah, keep it in there.
Keep it in there. Now, I think I'm right, but if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But we'll keep it in there. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Whoa.
Yo, Lord, see.
Relax.
You're watching, man. Chill out.
Keep it in there. It's wilder. That's crazy.
All right. Deshelle Johnson said off the court memorable moment when she told Shaq to take the surprise out his voice after he found out she won the Defensive Player of the Year. That was a legendary moment.
That was very, very legendary. Those moments
out the voice, Shaq.
Those moments are always Candace in TNT with Shaq, D-Wade, like the guy, like it's always a memorable moment for that part of it. Like even when she's going at it with KG with the infamous step through, like KG not knowing that you can step through, like
it's travel.
Yeah. She had a lot of great TV moments too. Just like even when like sometimes she don't even have to say that. It's like her facial expressions and stuff.
Yes.
Like when Adam left Cole, they was talking about her jacket and everything, and they was like, because she had like mad roses on the jacket, and they was just trying to get on her and everything. But like she don't be playing too. Like when they be trying to play her and stuff, like she's definitely like, all right, Shaq got 4 rings or whatever. Candace got 3 rings, but Candace is literally just as accomplished as those other dudes on the panel when she's on TV and stuff. So it's like she could definitely hold her own and everything. But yeah, I love how she used to go at how she goes at Shaq, not backing down from anybody and everything. She's just a joy to watch on TV. I really enjoy what she's doing right now and stuff. And I guess we could segue into that, like what's next and stuff. There's a lot of speculation on what she's going to do with retirement. You said at the top of the show, like her possibly owning a WNBA team and everything. So like let's just have a little bit of fun with it real quick. So obviously there's going to be another WNBA team coming in outside of what Golden State is doing and everything. If Candace Parker is a part of an ownership group, like what city would we want to see another WNBA team in? Go ahead, Lolo.
Bro, I think they got to go to Tennessee, somewhere in Tennessee. It makes sense. Those women, those people out there support, like, even when they're not good, like, University of Tennessee is not good, they still support. So I think I would say somewhere out there, or I don't know, I would just say it would just make sense. Like, it would be a full circle moment.
I'll answer the second one. Honestly, I would like to see her, do something with the hometown team, which is from Chicago Sky, and get them some better facilities. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would like for her to push that out there because of, what's going on right now regarding their facilities, which is going to hurt them now because of what the Aces and the Storm is doing, building these $100 million facilities for practice and everything. And I think that would be dope for her to do, because we've seen how long she played in the W. And think about it. Last year was the only year where she could leave her stuff in the locker room and not having to, come back and get it at the practice. It could just stay there the entire season and stuff. So, possibly like making her hometown team feel like home for the next generation.
So the only reason I don't like that is because they have D Wade, who has money. They have Michelle Williams, who was a part of Destiny's Child. You have money. They have what's Beyonce's dad name? Matthew Knowles. You have money. Like, so y'all can make it better. Stop being cheap. Like, let her go to a whole nother team or another organization so that she can help build that. Like, I understand Chicago is home, but you have all these people that have money. They're just being cheap and not putting it into the product, period. I mean,
I agree with that. I mean, I agree with that. Go ahead.
Yep, look, hold on real quick. Deshell Johnson said yes, because D-Wade, Michelle Williams, and Beyonce daddy ain't doing nothing. Exactly.
Beyonce daddy.
I ain't going front, man. We got the best comment section in the game right now. Man.
Shout out to the comments lounge.
Yeah.
Hey,
Shout out to the lounge,
FYI, text.winner is in the comments lounge, so holla at me. We're in the comments lounge.
Kid, I doing double duty today. Okay. Brittany, like, what's your thought? What would you like to see a team at? If Candace Parker's owning one?
I mean, I do agree. If she does go to Chicago, she needs to get them better facilities, because I was really upset at the Angel Reese introductory presser the other day. That was really bad. I'm not going to get into it because I already had my rant. But I don't know. I feel like she needs to go somewhere that's not at the top right now. Like, I feel like her expertise would so a team that I would really like to see her at would probably be like a this is a good question. I really want them to bring the Charlotte Stain back, to be quite honest. I would love to see her in ownership with the Charlotte Stain. Like, and bring back that nostalgia back, because Charlotte is a sports town, and I think I loved it when Dawn Staley was there and Andrea Stinson and all of them. Like, I would really love to see Candace Parker bring back that feel in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's what I have to say.
All right, so let's go back to the comments real quick, because the shell is crazy. She said that Chicago Sky got the woman on Planet Fitness on a day pass.
Oh, the jokes. But she may be onto something.
What you want? What built the planets in a forum? What would we be building here?
They got the decals. They don't even have the actual floor. They got the decals on there, yo.
I don't want to see Planet Fitness on a basketball court at all. It's bad enough we see it on New Year's where they planted it all over Times Square. I do not want to see a Planet Fitness arena. All they're going to do is give you Tootsie Rolls and lollipops and pizza. That's a good one. Hey, the show, that was a good one right there. Go ahead, Tay.
No, what's crazy is, Brittany, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say Chicago. I was going to say Charlotte. I would love to see that franchise back in play. Like, I lived in Charlotte for 4 years going to school. And so I was really able to see just how hard they go. And not only Charlotte, but North Carolina. They go super hard. And I think they'll be well received if they were to return back. So it would be great to see Candace kind of help build that franchise up, if in fact given the opportunity.
And I want to say this too. Like, now, if the basketball ownership doesn't pan out or whatever, I would like to see her join Elle Duncan, Chanae, and also Andrea Carter, and they just do their own women's basketball show and stuff like that. Like, I would love to see that, them join the big three, also with Carolyn Peck on the sidelines and everything. maybe it's time for some new blood, get some old blood up out of there and stuff. I ain't saying no names who got to go, but you know what I'm saying? You already know what it is. Like, cause she's like, this dude is crazy. Nah, but like what she's doing in broadcasting is like we just talked about earlier, is really dope. So I just thought I'd throw that little wrinkle in there if it didn't pan out, to see her really become a super monster in this broadcasting thing. That's all I gotta say about that. Anything else y'all want to add before we get up out of here?
Yeah, where do you rank Candace all time?
Good point. And because there was some comments in the chat that people were saying, where do we have her ranked at? K-Dot, where did we have Candace ranked when we did our top 25 show?
So again, context is very important. We did this during the 25-year anniversary, and I think this was in 2021. So it was either 2021, 2022. I believe we had Candace Parker ranked right outside the top 5. She was either 6 or 7 at the time. This was before the championship.
Yeah.
So she didn't even have 2 yet. But we spent about 6 hours on the phone, literally pretty much trying to position her. We really wanted to position her in the top 5, but there were some players at the time that had, from an overall WNBA standpoint, had better accolades. Now, since then, we haven't done our new top 25, but since then, I think we've all agreed that she's top 3. And we still, I think, from a overall standpoint, have to kind of put her in a position 1, 2, or 3. But top 3, hands down, no argument, because she checks just about all of the boxes. If you ask me, she's topped Tamika Catchings in my opinion. In my opinion, is not a consensus, but in my opinion, she has topped Tamika Catchings, even though Tamika Catchings, first off, a very underrated player. A lot of people don't have Tamika Catchings in their top 5, to be honest with you. But she has.
Now, we had her 2 on the list.
Yeah, we had her 2. We had her 2 on that list at the time. And since then, when you look at every statistical category from a career high or from a career standpoint, they're always saying the first since who? Candace Parker. So she jumps from that top 25 back then. She jumps all the way up to 2 in my book. That's just in my book. And again, I'm not going to have any argument with anybody who says she's number 1, because if the day is a good day, I'm going to agree with you. Even if the day is a bad day, I'm going to agree with you. So to me, I think that Candace Parker, from just an overall accolades, stats, influencer of the game, and because that was all of the criteria, just about all of the criteria from the list that we created, she jumped all the way from 7 to 2 since that conversation, DA. To me.
I mean, I'm not going to argue against it. I don't have nothing to say about it. And Lauren, you said she's top 3, right?
I changed my mind. She's the greatest of all time.
I think I kind of nudged that. I'm gonna credit myself for nudging that, because just like I said, right? And everybody is going to say it. Everybody is going to agree. When you look at stats, when ESPN put up stats, when WNBA put up stats, when anybody on TV put up stats, they say the player is the first person since who? Candace Parker. So it's hard to make an argument for someone else especially within the context of what we're talking about. And again, if you're very intellectual, let's have this conversation. If you're going to be a dummy, step off because I don't want to hear it. If you want to be intellectual about the conversation, yeah, we can have the conversation. But if you're going to be dumb about it, like, just step off, okay? But and I've been talking a little too much, but that's why I had her jump all the way up, and it was solidified after the second championship to me. Just being honest, because of what she did to get that second championship. Obviously, she was hands down their most valuable player that year. Like, it's no argument in that either. So, I mean, it is what it is at that, in that standpoint.
I mean, I think the winning is just undeniable. Like, when you, like K-Dot said, like, when you truly sit back and look at the stats, like, it's insane. Back-to-back state champion, back-to-back NCAA champion, 2-time MVP, should be 3, but they was hating. 7-time All-Star, 3-time WNBA champ, should be 4. However, Derek Fisher is on site. 2-time Olympic gold medalist, should be 3-time. Gino is on site as well. Defensive player of the year, like we already said, rookie of the year, MVP. When you look at top 10s, like I was looking at top 10s earlier today, top 10 in most points scored in WNBA history, top 10 in field goals made in WNBA history, second in defensive rebounds, third in overall rebounds in WNBA history, top 7 in assists, and this is a forward, top 7 in assists all time, top 15 in free throws made, top 15 in steals as a forward. I mean, the every statistical category she's in at least the top 15, like as a forward, like as a 6'4" forward who was injured a large part of her professional career, like battling injuries.
And
had a baby.
And in the playoffs too. So I was reading something about her in the playoffs that it says that only 6 players have. Somebody's echoing. Yeah. There you go. So in the playoffs, it says only 6 players has 250 playoff assists. Only 5 players have 1,000 playoff points. Only 4 players have 500 playoff rebounds. Only 3 players have 100 playoff blocks. And only 2 players have 100 playoff steals, and only 1 player has them all. And that 1 player is Candace Parker, yo. Crazy.
Insane.
Yeah, shout out to Sporting News. I didn't know that. And I was like, yo, that is actually kind of insane for her to do that, man. And everything is always like the first is Candace Parker this, Candace Parker that. The crazy thing about it though, you would make it seem like Candace Parker was averaging 30 for a career when it comes to offensive stats and stuff. Like, it's just crazy how she was able to affect the game, from a stats standpoint, from the 5 major stats: points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. It's just kind of insane that, she was just on that level and stuff. But yeah, I guess we could wrap the show up now and stuff. It was a great podcast conversation talking about, now the greatest basketball player of all time. I never believed in the whole Diana Taurasi vote. That was wild. So we're not doing that. That was crazy. But anything else before we sign off? Anything else y'all want to add? Brittany, go ahead. Brittany, you the one that played against her, so yeah, take us home.
Hold on real quick. Brittany also got to tell us I know this is about Candace Parker, but she said Candace Parker is top 5 hardest players she played against, so we need to know the list of the other 4. I know Maya's in there too.
For sure. Maya, Candace, Mati Ajervon,
Ooh.
Epiphany Prince, and last person I'm gonna say, really tough, Angel McCoughtry, yo. Angel McCoughtry. That's my top 5. My top 5 that I played against that wowed me on the court, because I don't get wowed like that. Those are the 5 ladies. Okay? And I just wanted to leave with this. Only Sylvia Fowles and Lisa Leslie joined Candace Parker in the 6,000 point, 3,000 rebound, and 500 block club. Okay, since we want to talk about stats is statting, CP is definitely unmatched. Like, that's what I'll leave it with. CP, I love playing against you, but I wish I won that championship in 07. And I'll leave it at that.
Hey, Brittany not gonna be able to live that down. That's tough. But y'all did win that game though. That clock game was crazy. They come on, refs, come on. Y'all got to be better than that.
I'm Stevie Wonder to it. I ain't see nothing.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, yo. You all in the same team. You supposed to be right. Oh.
You're right. One band, one sound. Delete that.
Nah, that's not the lead.
I ain't gonna say and lie to you. You know, before I met Britt and Tay, you know, Britt in person, I was kind of thinking about that clock game. I was thinking about it. I was like, oh snap, she was a part of that clock game. What am I supposed to say now?
I'm on Britt's side.
Do I mention it or do I not? And I didn't have to mention it because Britt mentioned it herself. So I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't went on a whole tangent about talking about Candace Parker, and I'm probably opening up old competitive wounds. I'm sorry, Brittany. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I did not know.
Look. Brittany said, happy retirement, but y'all cheated. Fuck out of here. Enjoy retirement, but don't forget, y'all cheated.
Oh man, we're going to get Candace Parker on the show one day. I promise y'all that, and then we're going to discuss. We're going to have them two have a discussion
before we close out though, for real.
Yeah.
So I did have the pleasure, and we talked about Clubhouse earlier today on Twitter. And shout out to Clubhouse, 1,500 in a room random Thursday night. I'm gonna talk about that forever. But Candace Parker actually did it was kind of like an informal TED Talk, informal interview.
Oh, yes.
And I had the pleasure of asking her a question regarding her broadcasting career. I took it all away from basketball because at that time, like, did I really think that she really wanted to hear a basketball question? Probably not, because it wasn't even the topic of discussion in that actual room. But I was able to ask her, you know, how does she prepare herself from a analyst standpoint when she's doing broadcasting, and does she look up to the ones before her, like the Doris Burks of the world, the Cheryl Millers of the world when she was a sideline reporter as well, and an analyst, and in the Carolyn Pecks of the world. And she says something that was very, very intriguing to me. She said that, you know, the universe is all the same. Whether you're playing basketball, whether you're talking basketball, whether you're doing something else in life, everything is the same. You have to be a student of it. And what I took away from that was exactly that. Anything that you do when you're doing your craft, don't just do it. Be a student of it. And she, you know, that was really, really great words to live by. So for her to tell me that in the question that I asked, I tell everybody who's aspiring to do whatever they want to do, be a student of it. Once you're a student of it, you'll never let go of it, and you will love it forever. So salute to you, Candace Parker.
And this has nothing to do with Candace, but shout out to DA for wearing a different shirt today. If you know, you know.
I wasn't ready.
Same hero, new boots. Nah, because the past couple of Sundays I've been wearing this blue shirt. I was kind of pointing
His Sunday's best, y'all.
Yeah. But now I got a orange hat, tennis ball colored black shorts, and these my socks is like that Easter blue. Yeah, I'm just no swag at all, like nothing. But also, before we cut out, we're going to cut out now. The jersey retirement, right? A lot of people were saying that retire the number 3 and stuff. Should she get it retired from all 3 teams? I don't think the Aces though, because she wasn't there that long. But I do agree with y'all when y'all say that the league should retire the entire number and stuff. I do agree with that. So yeah, and I don't know how y'all feel about that. I know Lauren gonna say retire all 3 teams and stuff.
Retire the entire league. No one.
Yeah, I think that when it's time. Yeah, I agree with that.
And the rookie award needs to be changed to the Candace Parker Rookie Award.
That's true too. There's hasn't been, like you said, only one MVP Rookie of the Year same year. That's crazy. That's crazy. In a modern era too.
Y'all think it'll happen again?
If the powers that be have their way,
bruh,
it's going to happen in a couple of months.
No.
It's going to happen in a couple of months.
Listen, I will riot the WNBA office, bro. Stop playing with me.
Hey, I want to start. We seriously, we are gonna leave, guys. Like seriously, but I want to start some more trouble. I'm gonna troll right quick. Talking about retiring the number 3. Ain't Diana Taurasi number 3?
Ooh,
she not retired yet?
Nah, she ain't retired yet, but she might need to. They might need to retire number 3 as a whole so she can get up out of there.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Diana was catching crazy strays, bro.
I'm sorry, Darius. I know that's your goat. I'm sorry, Darius. I'm just saying. If Darius is still here, I'm just trolling. I'm trolling.
Listen,
I'm gonna go back on mute.
Listen, Diana Taurasi was. I don't know if y'all saw it, but my good sis was catching strays yesterday. Why did it have to be Candace? Why couldn't it have been Diana?
All right, we gotta understand. See, we're gonna say that for another show. I think if you averaging 17, 18 points a game, you just had a 42-point game at age 40, whatever, however old she is. Come on, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
She did have that 42-point game against the Seattle Storm, who was the bottom of the bottom. So I mean, it wasn't like it was against the Aces or something. I'm just saying. I'm going back on mute though. I'm sorry.
All right, let's wrap this up.
But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. But yeah, so salute to Candace Parker, amazing career, and looking forward to see what she does in the next chapter and everything. And we're gonna get out of here. Thank you for listening to the 9450, a special edition honoring Candace Parker. And yeah, we got it done, man, in a little bit over an hour. You know what I'm saying? Technical difficulties too, for those that knows, you know what I'm saying? But we did it. That's what makes us so elite and stuff. The pioneers of modern media for women's basketball is us. And that's a fact, K-Dot. But yeah, don't forget to follow us on Twitter or X at the 9450, on Instagram, the 9450_, also on TikTok at the 9450_, and YouTube as well at the 9450 on YouTube. I know y'all can follow me at the Artest Effect, Lolo Bike on Twitter as well. Tay Gets It Done 24 on Twitter as well. Wellness Brit, and then K.Lou 3H. The entire staff in the building. Y'all understand this is big. So glad to have everybody on. And we out of here. Love is love. Peace.